Okay, so Ramneek, can you please give a brief intro about yourself?
Yes, yes, sure. So, I am Ramneek. I am 20 years old and I'll be finishing up my college in the next 3 to 4 days. And I am also the co-founder of the company SEO Scientist. We are a marketing agency primarily based out of Delhi, and we are a remote agency. We haven't sort of pushed for our reins forward to the office space or workspace or work culture at the moment, but soon we are planning to do so. Right. The company was started in April of last year, and we are still sort of uh, in engagement at the moment.
You're still sort
So
of?
in engagement, like we're still working, obviously, right? So we're still working towards achieving a goal that we can, become one of the best agencies in India or even worldwide.
So are you the first generation entrepreneur in your family?
Can you please come again?
Are you the first generation entrepreneur in your family?
I would not say first generation, but in a sense, like we've always, been into businesses. Like my father has also, owned a business, and then he also is now currently also sort of, venturing out into business and everything. So I would not call first, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing something different, in this online age. All of that is something that, those are traditional businesses, brick and mortar.
So how did this idea came to your mind about SEO scientist? What motivated you to come up with the idea?
Yes. So basically, I am a co-founder in the company, which means that the founder, which is Gautam, he is the main brain behind sort of starting an agency. I have always been fascinated by the idea of sort of running an agency or opening my own company, right? But at the same time, Gautam actually reached out to me and he was like, Ramneek, I have this company XYZ, and I've tried opening this company in a sense that I've tried this whole agenda with a lot of people, but at the moment, no one seems to bring in sales, and no one seems to bring in companies for us to work with. So then he reached me and asked me if I want to be a co-founder, and then we met somewhere around his place. And once we did that, we started working, and we've been working ever since.
Okay. So have you made any profit till now?
Yeah, definitely. Like we've made profits from month one. So even though the profits were low and everything, but at the same moment, we've made profits from month one.
So do you have any office or do you guys operate it from your home?
Yeah, so currently we are just operating remotely. At the same time, maybe within the next, I say, let's take like 6 months or so, we plan to move out into offices as well.
So if you are operating remotely, then how do you manage your team? I mean, because in a business, there are team meetings like that. So if you're operating from your home, how do you manage your team?
Okay, so what we've done is a very effective way. So, like before I get into that, what I would want to introduce is that what I feel that there are only three parts which make a business, or a startup or a an entrepreneur or a startup owner or a business owner, right? And you can only make progress by working on these three things, right? The first one is a process, right? Which is very important. Even if it takes maybe a month or 2 or 3 months to start to begin with, processes are supreme when it comes to starting a business, right? And there are obviously there are people those who follow processes, and then we get like they execute it, and then we get the results, right? So the top of the food chain is obviously making a process, and then the people who follow the process and get executed, and then we get results, right? So ideally, managing a team has not been a difficult task since Gotham has always been like into management tools and everything else. So what we've done is we have sort of tried and tested our workspace and work culture, and tried to build a culture of using modern tools to keep people in check and see if the working is being done or not, right? So tools like Clockify, tools like Asana, tools like Airtable, these are a few names that I would take maybe that are used for like by us to actually manage our team and maintain our team, because those are actually easier to deal with. That we have one sort of Excel or one sheet, we use Asana to maintain it, and then it branches out into a number of sheets, right, of people and processes. So basically it's a website. At the same time, the website is not actually hosted on a domain. but branches out from Excel sheets to Excel sheets to Excel sheets, right? And that's how we keep people in check. And at the same time, Clockify helps us to target the time and the effort that the people are putting in, right? So there are two more things that we do. We have daily huddles. One is in the morning, which is 10 a.m. huddle, wherein we meet the team, understand, give them the goals, and give them the work. And then there is a second huddle that sort of happens somewhere in the evening, wherein we check in with the people if the work was done, or if anything remains. If yes, why does it remain, and XYZ questions, right? So all of this really helps us to put people in check. So that these are like 3-4 things that we have done since day one to achieve efficiency in the company.
So can you please explain about the tools that you use?
Can you please come again?
The tools.
Tools. Yeah, so I mean, we use Airtable, right, to track and manage maybe the tasks that we are to do, even Excel, right? And other than that, we use Asana, ASANA. We, for a brief period of time, were also there on Flock. It's an app that helps communications, or it's an app like WhatsApp, but a little better, since we can integrate XYZ business things with it, right? We also tried Slack, we also tried Discord, also tried Skype, but at the moment we are currently working on Asana, and it is a really good tool to sort of work on. And other than that, we have Clockify to tap in the times. कि like this was the time I started working, and this is what I'm working on. And when I stopped the working, we sort of tap in that, okay, the work has been finished, and we tap it on Clockify.
So how are you planning to expand the business right now?
I mean, growth plans are still being put in place, right? But there are ideally just two things that we are sort of pushing forward at the moment. The first one is managing and maintaining a sales team now. So the most fascinating part of our business is that I am the person who gets sales, right? And like obviously Gautam and the team members obviously refer and help and everything. But I am the sole person who manages, tracks, talks to them, closes clients and everything else, right? And alongside me, Gautam also does that. But he is largely into execution, and I'm largely on the front end. Now we are planning to bring in a sales team who can actually work with us to get results. Till now, my main goal has been to make collaborations, to do collaborations with bigger companies, bigger agencies to get more clients. And other than that, obviously it's me who is reaching out, and cold calls and mails and WhatsApp messages, LinkedIn reach outs and all of that, right? So one is that we are putting processes for sales in place at first, right? Second, we are also planning to maybe go for some paid version of tools that can help us track and maybe even generate prospects and leads. And the third one would be that we are planning to grow with sustainability, right? So what I've seen is, or what I've learned is that when you're in a service business, it's not sustainable, and you need to keep on going out and getting more clients every month and every day, so that we can expand the business, we can expand the operations to get more revenues, to sort of reinvest in the company to grow the company, right? But what I feel is that this is a model that can fail at any moment, right? So just to give you an example, let's assume we are working, right? You are one of our clients, right? And just like you, I have 7 other clients, right? And COVID hits, and you all tell me that, okay, I mean, we were doing brand building with you, but at the same time, I feel that we are now to focus on sales, or we are now to focus on more on manpower, and everything else we'll do in house and XYZ because we're expensive, ABCDX, right? So what happens then is that we lose all our clients, and we sort of go from here to sort of right here, right? And that is one of the most terrifying things when it comes to a service business, right? So what we are sort of trying or planning to do is that we need to maintain some sustainability in our models. So we are planning to expand into managing solutions, or we are planning to expand into hiring solutions that can help other companies get more employees, and obviously us with the revenues as well. So we have some plans to put in place. We are trying to expand into other models as well. But at the moment, yes, we are currently just focusing on building a sales team, making more collaborations, and getting in more sales and producing results.
So now talking about sales, like you said that you are planning to hire a sales team. So sales is the most important part of the business, because if there is no sales, there would be no money. But let's say that
Exactly.
that there's a founder who is not so good at selling his product or service. So would he still be able to manage to run the business? because sales is not for everyone. It is very a very difficult job.
Correct. So now it depends. Okay. There are two type of businesses that are always put in place. Okay. One of them would be particularly to drive revenues from day one. And the second type of business would be that we have money and we are investing money at the moment, bootstrapping the whole business. And we are trying to get more and more people to use our product or service, maybe for free, right? Like apps or other things, right? So these are two type of things. So now when it comes to, the first thing, which is a product or a service, right? Sales is one of the core basics that need to be, that needs to be implemented, right? And talking about a founder who does not know how to sell, I'm pretty sure he would know, because selling is not something which is, very tough, because selling is all about that when we are sort of talking to someone, we should know what we are talking about, and that's all a person needs to hear, right? If we do not know what we are talking about, if we do not know in detail about the product or the service that we are selling, sales will definitely be a very, very difficult job for anyone, be it a professional salesperson or be it a beginner, right? What I feel is communication is always the key, and selling is not something which people can learn, right? So what I've learned from my 14, not 14 months, but 4 years of experience since I've been working since I was 17, right? I've been doing that in sales itself. So what I've learned is that when you sell some XYZ products or service to any person, right? All they need to understand is that all a person who is selling needs to understand is that there's always a human touch to sales, right? But if you understand, or if you take a look at all these, sales executives or inside sale representatives in companies, all they do is read a script, and people hate that, because people don't want someone, a computer reading a script to them, right? People want a human touch while they're talking to you. And even if you take a look at chatbots that are being introduced to the websites, they are trying to be more humane. They're trying to be more human than maybe most of the salespeople are in today's world, right? So I mean, sales is definitely important when it comes to a product or a service business which needs revenue to expand. Or
Oh. Okay, Shubham, do you have any question? Shubham Mode? Any question? If you have, you can write in the chat box or you can ask directly.
So I wanted to ask sir, how was his experience as a student? How he was approaching entrepreneurship at that time?
Okay, so this was a very tough decision, right? So when Gotham reached out to me, right, just a day before, I had this opportunity where I was to earn a handsome amount of money as a intern in a company, right? And I was super stoked about it, because I mean, I was still 19, right? What I did was I explored my opportunities, and I explored, what it means to sort of own a business, and what it means to sort of be independent in the space. And once I started working, it got exciting, since communication has always been, or has always been, fascinating to me. Like I love communicating with people, right? I love to understand what the business is going through, or how we can sort of solve those problems. So as a student, definitely a tough experience. You know to put it as, there was a lockdown when sort of we were working on the whole process. So that really helped us to, actually it helped me to get in a comfort zone wherein I could work day in and day out, like 16-18 hours a day, to get more people to come on board. And sales has always been a good uh, or a stronger side of me, right? So as a student, it was definitely a tough job to do, right? But at the same time, since I had this backing that I did not have to go to college every day, or I did not have to I shouldn't say, but I did not have to study a lot, right? So which is why I could really focus on my business and get things done. Yeah.
Any more question, Shubham?
No. That's it
Okay.
from me.
So,
Okay.
so Ramneek, so currently you are still an undergraduate, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completing my graduation in the next 4 days, like, you know.
Okay. So
So
how did you manage your startup and graduation together? Because in college also you have to study. How
Yeah,
did
so
you?
that's what I mean. While working or while being a student, right? So this lockdown was there, right? So I mean, I did not have to actually go to college a lot, right? Not even a lot. The colleges are off, right? So for the past 1 year, I have been sort of at mercy of the colleges not being open. But like recently, when the colleges opened, my like around January, February, right? So I did have to sort of cut some time and go to college and then maybe put in some extra hours of effort. But by now, like the business is such that I do not have to sort of spend 16, 17, 18 hours a day. Even if I spend like 8 to 9 hours a day, that's enough. So that has been good. So that has been achievable since I worked on processes from day one.
So speaking about the hours, you see nowadays in YouTube, many motivational speakers say that in order to run a business successfully, you have to work 16 to 18 hours a day, each and every day, 16 to 18 hours. So
Right.
according to your experience, is it really true that you have to work 16 to 18 hours a day to run a
When
business?
you start, I mean, yeah, so when you start running a business, it's all about how passionate you are or what is backing you. Okay. If you are bootstrapping the whole thing, or if you are sort of working, each and everything you're putting in your own money, or if you are sort of putting in your own efforts, I strongly feel that even 16 to 18 hours a day would be, you know I mean, to hypothetically even mention, at times I slept, worked with zero sleep, right? So we have to sort of obviously cross the boundaries and work in there, but that's just initial, to make in processes, to arrange calls, to manage calls, to sort of work with people, to work on the back end, to work on the front end. Obviously every business has its dynamics, but at the same time, specifically about the service industry, since I've been working in that, you definitely have to work on processes from day one. Neither you will be working, even after 3 years, on your own, pura, like without any help, without any processes.
So right now, how many hours do you work each day?
So it depends, right? It's not always about that I have to sort of work some fixed hours, since I'm also currently giving my exams and everything, so it's a little low. But when I'm not giving my exams, that's when I push in at least 9 to 10 hours a day, or even more at times. So my day starts at like 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, and uh, ideally I work till at least 8 to 9 at night. I mean, against my own will, because I have a lot of meetings scheduled, and which go after hours as well. So yeah, I mean 9, 10, and then after that, working on all the legalities, maybe finances or something else. So even that is something to be considered.
So I just joined the meeting a bit late. So can I get a
Yes.
brief about what this business is all about?
Ideally, it's a marketing agency, right? So all we sort of work on is that we provide marketing solutions to startups, SMEs, corporates, right? To get them more sales, or get them more brand awareness and all of that.
And who were the, means how many co-founders were there?
It's me and Gotham itself. So me and one more person,
So,
two.
okay. And how
Right.
did this idea come to you? Like what was the
Uh,
inspiration?
right. So basically, Gotham is ideally the founder of the company, and he approached me on LinkedIn, and
Mhm.
he was like, "Ramneek, do you want to start a business together?" So that's where we started talking, and then we started the business together.
That time, which year you were in?
Last year itself.
Like,
So it was
uh,
second year, maybe third, fourth semester.
mhm. Okay, great.
Yes. Anything else I can help you with?
No, no, thank you.
Okay.
So that means you and Gautam haven't met in person till now.
No, we have we have done a lot of meetings in person. So like we also for a brief period of time had a potential investor in place, right? To that who would invest money in the company for us to get more people at a initial stage. But I mean, sort of, so we used to go to office and work together as well. So and we've also met a lot of times to strategize and plan, and we try to almost meet once, twice a month to understand, where the things are going and what are we sort of planning to move forward. And like, or like almost once in every 2 days or every day, like we have a word, me, Gautam, and the whole team. So yeah, we stay connected.
So you are running a marketing agency. So can you please explain how to create a marketing strategy, an online marketing strategy for any brand?
Okay, so right, sure. So an online marketing strategy is all about, what the goals are, what the goals are. So we need to reverse engineer to actually, create a strategy. So all of that depends on where are we headed, where are we moving, what do we want, what are we looking at. Okay. So when it comes to, let's assume we have a goal of getting some XYZ sales. Okay. And we are like that, okay, sales is our goal. So what we'll do is we'll see what our bandwidth is. We'll, like in my company, right, we'll sort of qualify the lead. If it is MQL, a marketing qualified lead, right, sales qualified to hogi, uske baad obviously marketing qualified lead, and then SQL, and then closer. So we take a look at what all can we do for them, what are the budgets that have to be put in place. We analyze their product, we analyze their services, we see the average order values. So everything, each and every document has been put in place before we start even strategizing or working on everything, right? So when I say everything is put in place, I mean, from the price of the product to the best sellers, to the countries they sell the best in, or the states that they sell the best in. So the keywords that people search about their product, what queries are being searched about the product, what's a consumer behavior when they come on the website, on the social media channels, all of that is being looked upon, right? So once we are done with our initial analysis, which takes almost like 1 to 2 weeks, right? Post that, we start executing the strategy and we put in place some terms, right? So as I told you that we do SEO, we do website development, we do paid ads, we do performance and all of that, right? So we put in place that what all needs to be done for a particular business to be profitable, right? So let's assume ads is the only thing. So what we do is then we start working on processes like where should we run ads? Where is our target consumer? What's the age of the, so basically ICP, the ideal customer profile of the person we are selling to. Okay. So once that happens, we understand each and every segment, each and every part of it, and then we run the campaigns to get more sales for the client. So the marketing strategy is all about research, maybe 60-70% research, and obviously 30% execution to get more results, and data analysis as well. Yes.
So how can someone do keyword research, or how to do a keyword?
Okay, so keyword research is, yeah. So keyword research is like the most important core of each and everything we do here, right? Even if it is Google ads, even if it is SEO, keyword research is one of the most basic things that needs to be done correctly. If that is wrong, you cannot succeed. Even if you work a month, you spend ₹1 million, $1 million, you won't succeed if your keywords aren't put in place correctly. What we need to do is we need to identify all kind of keywords, and not just quick keywords. We need to identify the key terms. We need to identify the key queries. We need to identify the long tail keywords, short tail keywords, negative keywords, all of that, right? So keyword research is ideally a 3-step process. The first thing we need to do is we need to understand the whole business, right? What does the business do? Then what we need to do is what does the business sell, right? And what are the problems a consumer would face for them to come to the business and say, okay, I want to buy a product. So what happens is, if someone wants to buy a car, okay, so what all would you search for? There would be 3 steps to you even buying a car. The first step would be, you would do research that, okay, what kind of cars are best, what's the budget of this car, that car, ABCDXYZ. The second step would be, you will be identifying maybe what engine is better, what model is better. Even if you are buying a laptop, right, you will be researching that is Apple 2013 or 2015 or 2017 or 21 model better, right? So that is like a very basic thing that we need to keep in mind, that these are the things people search for, and that is the kind of funnel we need to create. That maybe by doing SEO, we'll get them to our blogs, and once they get to our blogs, we'll retarget them to track through tag manager. We'll track them through tag manager, and then we'll retarget them through ads via some XYZ keyword which particularly point towards sales, right? And that research is done based on the keywords, based on the products that we have in the company.
Okay, that's good. So what do you think is the ideal age for starting a business?
I mean, I've met people who started a business when they were 14. Okay. And currently they are 16, 17, 18, and they are owning marketing agencies, maybe even bigger than mine. Okay. So, and I have a few friends, right? Like few friends, as in they became friends through the whole thing. And I can guarantee you that they are 10x smarter than me. And they are like 17, 16, 18 years old, right? So, I mean, no ideal age to start a business. You just need to have a mindset.
At the age of 14, don't you think it is too young to become, no, to start a business? Because in order
I
to
mean, if
start
you
a
want the
business,
business
you
to
need
be
to have a lot of skills.
yeah, I mean, definitely. So, like, one of my friends, right? He started working with Fiverr when he was like 15 years old, right? And currently he's 17, so which is 2 years back, right? So he started using her mom's ID to start a Fiverr account and provide skill sets in the sense that he had a few people to help him with, right? And doing that, and he earned a obviously good bucks, and he was like, okay, yeah, earning money is not difficult. And then he started doing freelancing, and then he shifted to a agency model maybe 6 to 8 months back, right? So currently he is gonna turn 18 like super soon, right? And he is owning an agency almost as sizable as me. Okay, so definitely, like, there's no sort of minimum age to start a business. You just need to have good people around you. You just need to understand that what kind of tools needs to be worked upon, and you just need to keep on learning and pursuing new things, and when I say learning, it's not particularly about what you learn in schools and colleges. You need to explore as much as you can, as much as you
Then how can we get into such ecosystem where we can pursue our entrepreneurship journey?
What I would suggest is, like, there are a lot of apps out there, right? I can tell you the names directly as well. Like, obviously, the first or the foremost one would be LinkedIn, which is very, very important for anyone, right? Discord is a good platform to work upon, right? You need to understand and work on Discord. You need to get into Reddit. You need to get into Quora, right? You need to get into Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, right? Reach out to people. And there is this amazing, amazing, amazing platform called Coffee Mug. Okay. I don't know if you've heard about it. So
Can you
Coffee Mug
write
is
the
a
name in the chat box?
yeah, sure. I'll just do that. Give me 1 second. So I've
Coffee.
been using Coffee Mug for the past, I'd say, uh, 2 3 months, and I've been sort of meeting with the top industry leaders and discussing ideas. But definitely, to use the app, you need to understand that that you need to give value to a person you are talking to, right? If you're not providing value to them, I'm not sure if they even stick maybe 15-20 minutes with you, right? All of my conversations on Coffee Mug have gone at least like 1.5 hours, because there's a lot of value to give and take from each other, right? That's an amazing platform to maybe connect with people who have the same mindset as you, and to learn more, right? There's an app name as, like, you heard about Shark Tank, right?
Yes.
Right? There's an app called Fish Bowl. Shark, Fish, Tank, Bowl. So there's an app called Fish Bowl, and that app is like amazing to sort of connect with actual professionals who've been working in like bigger companies and corporates. Okay, so like what I can actually tell you, connections is the key. Okay, if you have connections, you can actually run a successful business no matter what industry you are, because you will have resources, you will have people to tell you that, okay, I have this XYZ work, can you do this, right? You'll have the referrals, you'll have suggestions, you'll have testimonials, you'll have people who can back you, everything, right? So connections are definitely the most important. So to get into these kind of ecosystems, you need to actually engage with people, and maybe get to know them better, or people maybe older than you, younger than you, whatever it is. Also try to get into WhatsApp communities as well. So there are a lot of communities like startup lanes. Even I started a community called Marketing Ideas, right? So I mean, we currently are at 250, 256 members in the group. So like we are expanding day in and day out. There are opportunities. If you heard about a community named One Celeber, right? So that is a community of LinkedIn top 1% creators, right? So these are communities. If you get into these communities, if you get a chance to get into these communities, please do.
Is it possible for you to share the community link, your WhatsApp community link?
I don't have a list at the moment, but I do have a few communities I'm into. So I mean, I can share with Aritra once we're done with the call, and maybe you can forward it to the community that he has.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
One more thing, Ramneek, I just searched for coffee mug in Google, but it is showing only coffee models, like the type of coffee mugs.
No, so you have to write coffeemug.ai. So probably that's the major issue. And right, if you're typing, type on Play Store, you'll get the app.
Okay. On Play Store. Okay, Ramneek, so you want to share the link in the chat box?
If you just allow me 1 second, I'll just share the link with you. Even Play Store is a really good place to even search for newer products and newer companies that are providing these business networking sites and everything, right? So these are really helpful in longer term when you engage with these people and they recommend you to everyone.
So
So
coffee
I'm
mug,
just pasting the
do I
link.
have to pay any money to use this?
No. It's completely free, completely free.
Okay.
So I just had a word with one of the uh, founding members of Coffee Mug today, right? And it was an amazing experience to understand and learn more about how Coffee Mug functions. So that is how you can connect with these people. So the founder of Coffee Mug, I met her, like the founding members of Coffee Mug. I met her on LinkedIn itself, and then we had a word today evening.
Okay, one more question I want to ask, that is, as an entrepreneur, how do you deal with distraction? Because nowadays there is a lot of distraction, social media, movies, Netflix, comedy videos, and many others. So as an entrepreneur, when you are doing your work, how do you deal with distraction? Do you get distracted?
Okay, so have you seen these Ankur Wariku ads on YouTube?
Yes, I've seen time management.
Right? Everyone has. Time management, exactly. Right? So that is the answer. So you don't, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to take the course, or I'm not promoting the course, but definitely time management is the key. You need to understand that there are times to do some certain things and times to do some other, right? So, I mean, distractions will always be there. And if you like, what I always feel is that human brain cannot comprehend no's, right? When you tell yourself, or
Human
when you
brain
tell a
cannot
person,
comprehend.
no, no, no's, right? So if I tell you, like, don't think about an elephant, you would think about an elephant,
Don't think
right?
about. I don't understand.
And so if I tell you that, okay, don't think about an elephant, would you, like, the first picture that comes to your mind is an elephant,
Yes, yes.
right? So human brain cannot just do that. The negative, basically, not knows, but it cannot comprehend negative. So what we need to understand is that distractions are not bad. They are bad if they are sort of focused on again and again, again and again. You need to understand that you need to actually have a leisure time for you to have efficiency while you are working, right? Because if you are not having that leisure time, what you will do is you will work, and then you will have that leisure in between, and all of that would be mixed, and you won't be efficient enough, right? And at the end of the day, what you will feel is that, like, I worked all day, but for the fact you worked less and you spent more time on leisure, right? So you need to have these breaks, like, every now and then.
So no, by distraction, let's say for example, right now you are currently working on a particular project regarding your business, and suddenly someone pings you on WhatsApp. Then you suddenly pick up
Right.
your phone and check the message. So that is one kind of distraction. I am talking about how to avoid such kind of distraction. That you have to be hyper focused on the work.
Right. So I mean, if someone texts me right in middle of work, I do not ignore, because that's rude. But I do text them that I'm in middle of something. I'll sort of text you back later, or maybe I'll have a word with you later. I'll call you later or something. So I mean, ignoring those things and everything would make you more enticed to text them back maybe after 15 minutes, and you will be distracted in those 15 minutes. So just tell the person, or just tell maybe the person who's texting you that I'll just text you back in a minute, or maybe I'll text you back in the evening or something like that. That's the best way.
That was just one example. For example, you can feel the urge to watch the new Facebook post, what has your friend posted on Facebook, or you can feel the urge to watch the new LinkedIn post. So that are all one kind of distraction, that I'm saying. In between work, suddenly you feel
I mean,
like,
if you
let's
feel
see
that
some YouTube
distraction, then
videos.
take leave.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that you like really want to see it, so I generally see it. I don't wait for, okay, I'll sort of wait till the evening and see it. So I mean, that's one thing I don't really like. I don't have a lot of distractions, thankfully. But if I did, if I have any distractions, if I'm like, okay, nahi yaar, I have to do this, so I take out time and I'm like, okay, I'm taking 15 minutes out of my leisure time, and I'll work there, and let me take some 15 minutes time here. So I manage it in some sense, if you get what I mean.
Oh. So what you're saying is that distraction cannot be completely avoided from our life, right?
It should not be avoided. If it is avoided, it will always be a distraction.
Oh.
Getting it? You need to finish the distraction there and then, or maybe at a later time. If you avoid the whole distraction, it will always be there. And I'm not sure how long can you avoid distractions.
No, I am asking because there are many people or many successful entrepreneurs who say that when you're running a business, you cannot afford any kind of distraction. You have to be completely obsessed with your work. There is no balance, work-life balance. That they see, that they talk about. That's why I am asking.
I mean, for me, that hasn't been true yet, and I would not want that to be true, because what I strongly feel is that if you are disciplined, and if you do have the whole thing planned out, the whole day planned out, and even if there are distractions, you should take out time for them, right? So for these, like, what I try to do is that I try to take breaks every now and then, and obviously everything is being accounted for. That, okay, this is a break or everything. I mean, it's not okay, very particular that it's 2:15 and let's take a break and let's sit down at 2:30 again. So, but it's managed 1 minute up and down. But yeah, I mean, that is what maybe managing your time would look like, if you work on that. Because the point is, when you are at the topmost level, and you're not accountable to someone, right? That is when you lose and as soon as you lose the passion, or as soon as you delegate your work, you say that, okay, I have delegated all my work, I can rest now, right? What you need to understand is that you need to grow the company, and if you are not doing anything, all these people under you will you know won't be sort of able to stand or support the company, right? And not only will they lose the job, the company would fail, and each and everything would go down the trash, right? So I mean, all of that, I mean, should motivate you if you are running your own business. So one thing that always motivates me is that I'm not just running this business for profits or for me, right? There are like too many lives at stake who are working with us, or who are putting confidence in SEO scientists, that, okay, yeah, I'm working in this company, and they are paying me some XYZ money to do this job, and that is how I can sustain my work, and that is how I can sustain my life, right? So that's always my main motive to it's always my main motive, that people should be accounted for. It's not just the profits. At times my profits are delayed by, let's assume, 15-20 days, and I don't care, because people should be, the employer should be happy, because there are only three parts to it. It's a process, the people, and the execution. If any of these three are not there, you won't be able to run the company.
Actually, I asked this distraction question because what happens to me is that I am also a student. I am also doing freelancing work. I'm also doing internship. Now, my goal is to always be working 24 hours a day, or as much hour as I can. But unfortunately, I still get distracted many times. Like sometime I feel to watch a movie, or sometime I feel to watch a YouTube video. And when I watch them, I feel tremendous amount of guilt, because I think that I am watching this, that means I would be a loser in future. Because many motivational speakers say that you cannot afford any kind of distraction if you want to be successful. But still, in my life, distraction always comes, and I feel guilty after becoming distracted. So do you think that this is okay to be distracted sometimes? Or do you think that in order to be successful, you have to
Okay,
always work?
I'll tell you. So basically, there's a very simple answer to it, right? But at the same time, I'll just give you an example to, uh, make you understand how, this should be taken forward. For me, at least, this is my opinion. Ideally, when you are working on something, or when you are working on a project very passionately, right? You actually do not see kitna time ho raha hai, how many days have I been working for, or whatever it is, or how many hours have I been working for, right? At the same time, if you are distracted, and if you have some, you do not have any me time, and there's no work-life balance, there is a term called burnout, right? And this burnout generally happens, this is a term that is used in the creator economy. Creator economy being these YouTubers, these Instagram influencers, and other people. What happens is they get tired, because they're even a single day, we cannot comprehend what a single day for them looks like. They
Can you
might be
repeat
working.
again
Yeah, can you please?
the
What?
last word that you said, the last sentence?
So basically, when these YouTubers and then when these creators are working, right, you cannot comprehend how hard they work, right? They're working 24/7 to actually get these videos up, create the content, edit the videos, publish the videos, track the performance, see what they've done wrong, improve it in the next video, post again, right? All of this has to be accounted for by a single person, and we are a company, we have these people working for us, right? So there is this term called creator burnout, and that would happen if you do not take a leisure time out for yourself, or as people nowadays, Gen Z calls it me time, or we call it me time, right? So you have to take out me time, because that is very, very important.
So you also watch movies as an entrepreneur
Yes,
also.
yeah, I do.
So don't you think it's a bit unproductive to watch movie? So
I
just
mean, I, so I'll give you one thing for that, right? That I do not watch movies in the middle of week. I never do. But I watch movies on my weekends, always, right? Something or the other.
okay. So my last question to you is that what would be your advice to any aspiring entrepreneur?
Okay, so I mean, the hardest question, to be very honest, right? Uh, the advice to any aspiring entrepreneur would be that do not take a look at, when you are starting up, right? And do not take a look at what are the revenues that you would earn, or what are the profits that you need. Because if you could earn profits from the first day, people would not be working for these 20, 50, 100 years to build empires and businesses, right? There are only three things in business that you need to work on, right? And those three things are people, processes, and execution. And that is what I strongly feel, right? Other things that I've learned today would be that always focus on, the leisure time. Always have that, because you cannot comprehend the negative. And the third part of the whole thing would be that, never fail to execute yourself. Don't be like, okay, maine delegate kar diya and I won't be executing now, or let me focus on planning and everything. But always be there in execution. Always watch our company very, very closely.
Okay. Okay, Ramneek. So thank you for joining. That was all for today. You did a
Yes,
really good job. I would post it on YouTube and share the video with you.
sure. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for having me, Aditya. It
Yes,
was a
yes.
wonderful session with you.
Thank you, then. Good night.
Okay, thank you so much.